My dear students, you are again welcome to my class of Indian Economic Development. Today's topic is globalization. An official definition of globalization by the World Health Organization is given below. World Health Organization defines globalization as the increased interconnectedness and interdependence of peoples and countries. It is generally understood to include two interrelated elements: the opening of international borders to increasingly fast flows of goods, services, finance, people, and ideas, and the changes in institutions and policies at national and international levels that facilitate or promote such flows. History of globalization. For some people, this global phenomenon is inherent to human nature. Because of this, some say globalization began about 60,000 years ago at the beginning of human history. Throughout time, human societies exchanging trade has been growing. General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, shortly GATT, was established in 1948 with 23 countries as the Global Trade Organization to administer all multilateral trade agreements by providing equal opportunities to all countries in the international market for trading purposes. The World Trade Organization was founded in 1995 as a successor of GATT. World Trade Organization is expected to establish a rule-based trading regime in which nations cannot place arbitrary restrictions on trade. Its purpose is also to enlarge production and trade of services to ensure optimum utilization of world resources and to protect the environment. The World Trade Organization agreements cover trade in goods as well as services to facilitate international trade. What is globalization? Globalization is a process of integrating various economies of the world without creating any hindrances in the free flow of goods and services, technology, capital, and even labor or human capital. Parameters of globalization. The term globalization has four parameters. Number 1. Reduction of trade barriers to permit free flow of goods and services among nation states. Number 2. Parameter is creation of environment in which free flow of capital can take place among nation states. Point number 3. Creation of environment permitting free flow of technology. Point number 4. Last but not the least, from the point of view of developing countries, creation of environment in which free movement of labor can take place in different countries of the world. Let us discuss advantages of globalization. The first advantage of globalization is globalization allows us to pool all our resources together. One of the best examples of globalization within our lifetime is the construction of the International Space Station. The cost to construct the International Space Station was $150 billion compared to the Mir station at $4.2 billion. The price tag is astronomical. When the first component for the International Space Station was launched in 1998, 5 different programs came together to join in ownership, costs, and operations. The United States, Russia, Canada, Europe, and Japan are all involved in the financing and continued operations of the program. The second advantage is globalization would also reduce labor exploitation issues. When borders become less restrictive around the world, people tend to move to locations where their best opportunities exist. Under the current structure of our planet, impoverished nations with a lower standard of living offer wages that the developed world would find abysmal. Someone in Bangladesh making clothes for 10 hours per day earns less in a month than some workers in the US earn before lunch. Point number 3. Globalization would help the developing world progress faster. Most of the world today is not developed. Outside of about 40 countries which have gone through their own version of the Industrial Revolution, the rest of the population still struggles as a primary agricultural society. By reducing border restrictions, creating common payment formats, and opening products access by reducing export barriers, more people could improve their way of life. Higher incomes often lead to lower maternal and infant mortality rates too, which means we had been saving lives with this effort. Fourth advantage of globalization is globalization encourages free trade. Borders create restrictions to the free flow of goods and services. One example of this issue is the duty and taxes paid on imported goods originating in the US when purchased in Canada. These taxes apply on luxury items and other items in high value. The ISST in Canada may be collected at a rate of 13%. Canadians use shipping service receptacles at locations like Point Roberts, WA to get around this tax simply because the laws have not globalized like our access to goods. There are currently over 1,500 different restrictions in place with the global import-export market right now. The fifth advantage is globalization could create more employment opportunities. Consumers would benefit from the lower prices, consume more, and create additional job opportunities around the world. By creating an environment where free trade encouragement readily exists, more innovation, creativity, and engagement would occur at every level of society. Now, let us start to discuss about disadvantage also. The first disadvantage is globalization benefits the wealthy more than the poor. The people who have the power to create policy would reap the most significant rewards. Those with money to invest would see their bank accounts continue to rise. At the same time, households living paycheck to paycheck would struggle to access what they require, suppressing their ability to pursue a better job. The second disadvantage of globalization is globalization would encourage disease transfer. So, my dear students, as you all know that nowadays we are facing the problem of COVID-19. This COVID-19 was started in late 2019 in China. Now, it spreads far and wide throughout the world. This is nothing but because of this globalization. Globalization Because of connection from one people to another, from one state to another state, from one country to another country, it spreads far and wide throughout this world. Now even in our small state also, COVID-19 spreads throughout our state. Now it is becoming very dangerous. Now this danger is nothing but because of COVID-19. This COVID-19 spreads throughout this world due to globalization. So next, the disadvantage of globalization is globalization would create a new system of politics. We have already received a sneak peek of what a global society would be like from a political perspective. The individuals and organizations who spend the most to lobby politicians would receive the best chance of having their need met first. The fourth disadvantage of globalization is globalization would negatively impact the environment. We have already seen that what free trade does to the environment. Greenhouse gas emission rose in 2018 despite efforts to curtail them. Microplastics invaded our oceans, creating negative impacts on marine life. The waters of our planet are slowly acidifying, creating economic and health impacts every day. If caps are taken off of what is not permitted through globalization, then this issue will continue growing worse. So let us take the conclusion. Globalization is becoming an international phenomenon. We would be well prepared to take the fullest ever advantage of such emerging scenario. The process of globalization through liberalization and privatization policies has produced positive as well as negative results both for India and other countries. Some scholars argue that globalization should be seen as an opportunity in terms of greater access to global markets, high technology, and increased possibility of large industries of developing countries to become important players in international arena. On the contrary, the critics argue that globalization is a strategy of the developed countries to expand their markets in other countries. According to them, it has compromised the welfare and identity of people belonging to poor countries. It has further been pointed out that market-driven globalization has widened the economic disparities among nations and people. So, let us conclude today's class of globalization and let us take up home assignment. Today's home assignment is write 2 advantages of globalization from the perspective of a developing country like India. So try to submit the home assignment before the next class. Thank you for listening. See you again. Thank you very much.